This is my fortune cookie. Tell them what you really think. Otherwise, nothing will change. Every vlog, every day, every vlog. It's the only way to do it. Good evening, everyone. Let's see if I can center this fucker. There we go. Good enough. It is late. It's 10:55 p.m. Wednesday, November 17th. I'm lighting my prayer candle that I didn't light yesterday. Because besides the prayer that I prayed in last night's vlog, I didn't say my prayers. It's like for 24 hours there was another me in control of me. And I don't like it. And I didn't like it. Not the old asshole me. That dark part of me that's a part of every addict that would love to get control so that it could force you to lose control. How about that for a conundrum? The addict inside wishes to gain control so that in effect, it could cause you to lose control. Ponder that shit. There's 1 hour and 3 minutes left in November 17th, Wednesday. It's another day I've stayed sober. 171 days later. Tomorrow is my Friday. And then I'm off until the 29th. So you'd think I'd be jumping for joy. Yeah, in movies and sitcoms, that's how life works. But when you're a real human dealing with real human emotions, shit don't go that smoothly. Especially when you're an addict fighting an addiction. Right? That old story, the Native American story about having the two wolves inside of you, the white wolf and the black wolf. And which one will win? Well, the one you feed. But there's one that wants to devour. And he has to be starved. And he has to be starved for a long time for you to get control. And I'm really young in the journey of starvation for that. So, Wednesday, November 17th, 171 days later. My name is Joe, and I'm an alcoholic, and I'm an addict. And this is 171 days later, a sobriety vlog. It's 11:30 p.m. Wednesday, November 17th, Humpty Hump Day. For all of you, the middle of the week. For me, well, this is my Thursday. Tomorrow's my Friday. I'll be off this Friday until the 29th. I have a 10-day staycation coming up. And, I'm going to show you a couple of little clips I just made. There's a part of me that really had a fight to get this vlog made tonight. And then there's my fucking phone that wanted to fight me and not upload files that I needed it to upload. The last 24 hours hasn't been good. Like I always start and say, my name's Joe, and I'm an alcoholic, and I'm an addict. What is an addict? An addict is someone who carries around an addiction. An addiction is a disease. It's a disease that, like some other diseases, can flare up out of nowhere, unexpectedly. It's something you can't ever be rid of. If you're an addict, you're an addict your entire life. Even those of you out there that are counting 27 years, I know people counting 37. They know, and they'll say, I'm one drink away from being an alcoholic, or, just being a fucking mess. And that's that thing. You always carry that with you. It's not like cancer, that you can remove the cancerous tumor and chemotherapy the rest. It's like a cancer we always have to carry around and fight. And our sobriety is the treatment, the chemo that keeps it at bay from overcoming us completely. And the last 24 hours were fucking hell. I didn't even say, except for the prayer that I prayed over Michael and the prayer I did at the end of yesterday's vlog, 170 days later. That was the only prayer. And that's the first time I hadn't said my prayers in a while. And man, there's that darkness, and we all carry around the darkness inside of us. Any addict. I remember Father John telling me, because Father John was an alcoholic. And I didn't know that at first. And I said, and Father John was my therapist. And anyone who doesn't know Father John, he's a kindly old priest that, when old people get to that certain oldness and they look like a cute Muppet, that was Father John. And I said, Father John, sometimes there's like this darkness inside of me. And he goes, Joseph, I know there's a darkness inside of me. And if I let it get control, it'll destroy me. And I remember saying to a friend of mine, man, Father John said this. I said, what is he talking about? And they said, didn't you know? Father John's an alcoholic. I should have realized, because Father John was the one that gave me, wanted me to do the 12 steps. He was planting seeds. So that darkness was trying to rear its ugly head. And man, I don't know why, where it came from. Is it, was it just to remind me that it's there? Just to keep me on my toes, that it'll always be there? But let's look at a few clips. I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrap it up. Because since I regained control, and no, I didn't get drunk. That's my secondary fucking thing. But there were times last night when it was like two fucking voices were in my head fighting for control. And I swear to you, when I was putting something away in the kitchen, one of the voices in my head was just saying, just go ahead. Just have a spoonful of sour cream. What is it going to hurt? And I know for my food addiction, just even a fucking spoonful of sour cream is like that fucking loud noise that starts a fucking avalanche. And literally, the one voice in my head is saying, go ahead, just have a few pork, of your pork rinds with a little sour cream. What is it going to hurt? You got this. And then there's the other voice in my head saying, even one bite will start that fucking avalanche. That's why if you look at the thumbnail for yesterday's video, I kind of snuck in there what was really going on with me. If you look at the thumbnail, you see the devil, and those are little bitmojis of me. You see the devil me and the angel me on either side. And that's what was going on. I snuck that in there. But look, let's look at a couple of clips. We're going to come back. I want to talk about one of my all-time favorite works of literature and how it relates to sobriety and addiction. So we'll be right back. 9:57 a.m. I got 3 minutes left till I clock into work. But I got to get that coffee. Full to the brim, baby. My Folgers Black Silk. Now, I usually use my favorite cup, but the coffee, it cools down quicker than it did from my Keurig, so I'm going insulated today. So I got this big boy out of mothballs. See how that works. But anybody. Anyway, now it's 9:58 a.m. That don't work. And at least my tools are all up, so all I got to do is click a button and I'm clocked in. But anyway, everybody have a wonderful, beautiful Wednesday. Happy Humpty Hump Day. It's time to do the hump. Do the Humpty Hump. Come on, do the Humpty Hump. And tomorrow's my Friday, so I'm in a good mood. All right, everyone. Let me get my fat ass, my not as fat as yesterday's ass, to work and just say, God bless us all, everyone. Oh, I got a minute left. Oh, it's an unboxing video. We got to do something to kill a little time. So, I know what's in here. This out of the way before I slice my fingers off, which I want to keep. But, this is very much life in here. Watch out, prayer candle. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Lord. Folgers black silk. Not just one, but two huge ass jugs. Oh. That's a beautiful thing right there. And my other one's about halfway down, so that'll last me for a couple of months. And I got to tell you the truth. I kind of like, hey, don't burn the house down, Joe. I kind of like making the coffee in the coffee pot now. And as you'll see in a clip, I got around my big ass cup wasn't keeping the coffee hot. So I started using one of my insulated cups. Perfect. Because you don't want to drink piss warm coffee. I like that shit hot. Not so hot that it goes through my fucking tongue, but hot enough to cause a little caution in the mouth. How about that? Hot enough to cause a little caution in the mouth so that you don't swallow a big gulp and kill yourself. Hey, this is going to be a short vlog tonight. I'm in a contemplative mood. And I need to get back to prayer. So I need to get the blog done so I can get back to prayer. So let's get back to me talking about whatever I'm talking about on my journey through sobriety on this 171 days later. Now, just 9 days until 6 months. And the heat is on. Well, not in the house, because that would kill me. And we're back. That was, once I regained control, and I tell you, what helped me regain control? My lunch hour started today at work. And I was just going to go lay down and take a nap. And that didn't work out too well yesterday, because after I woke up from that nap, my brain was still asleep. So I know on a Wednesday, my supervisor rearranged the meeting, because the meeting would be during my lunch break. So she pushed it back a little bit. So I'd miss maybe 15 minutes. But I had a call that went 15 minutes into my lunch, meaning that I would have missed more than a quarter of the team meeting. So I literally, when my lunch break started, I went into the kitchen and, I had my phone in my hand, my tablet in my hand, and I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to go fuck around on my PC and go to the meeting during my lunch, right? Tomorrow's my Friday. It don't fucking matter. So I did that. And I'm going to pause this for a second. And while the meeting was going on, I looked to my left. And this is me deep in the darkness. Now I'm doing my job. I'm still doing my job good. Shit. You'd never know that the person you're talking to on the phone is going through something. And I look to my left and there's my guitar. And my guitar is plugged into my katana, which is right next to my shoulder. So I'm like, well, fuck it. It's something I would never do, but I did. And I just put the guitar on, put the amp on, and started playing, even during the meeting, because they're talking about some old bullshit. And I had my own one-on-one with my supervisor this morning. She kind of told me what we're going to talk about in the meeting. And then when work ended, I came and sat over here. You know, I go to my AA meeting, and I use this Zoom on my Mac, which is what I record with, and the camera right there. And I reach over here and I start playing this guitar. Now there's no sound. I'm just playing so only can I hear it. It's not plugged into anything. But it's like it pulled me back out of that darkness and grounded me, but left me, because you don't go through something like that without deep contemplation. And that made me start contemplating the journey of sobriety and addiction. And I was like, what is the journey of sobriety? I said, man, this is like one of my all-time, if not all-time favorite works of literature by J.R.R. Tolkien, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I love The Hobbit too, and the Silmarillion. Now, I'm sure everyone's familiar with The Lord of the Rings. If you haven't read it, I'm sure you've seen the movies. If you haven't read it or seen the movies, I'm sure you've heard enough about it. And it's about this character. He's a hobbit named Frodo. And he's got to carry this ring of power to Mordor to destroy it so that the Dark Lord Sauron can't get his mitts on it and take over Middle-earth. And the problem with the One Ring is if you use it, keyword, if you use it, you get addicted to it and its power. There's another character in the book named Gollum. He started off kind of like a hobbit named Schmeagol, but he kept using the ring, and the more he used it, the more he lost himself to it. So that darkness in him is Gollum, because he always had this, like his throat went Gollum, Gollum. So they called him Gollum. Frodo's got to carry the ring, this source of addiction that will overcome you. And the more you carry it, the heavier the burden is. He's got to carry it all the way to the end. Like we'd have to carry our addiction all the way to the end. And he's got to throw it in Mount Doom, where it was forged. And the first book is called The Fellowship of the Ring. And as addicts, we need fellowship. But sometimes, and the fellowship in the book was broken. And think of the ring, this tiny little thing. What is, if you're an addict, what is your ring? Right? Tiny little thing. Is it a shot of liquor? Is it a line of cocaine? Is it a tiny little rock of crack? Or a little pipe of meth? What is it for you? See, it starts out small, but there's power in it that will consume you. If I have one shot, I'm in the bottle. And if I'm in the bottle, more than one bottle is going to fall. And a lot of you out there who suffer from addiction know if you have whatever that was that you thought was giving you power, because that's what it was. We were using this because it made us feel good. And that's the burden we have to carry. And what I was going through yesterday reminded me of a part of the book. They're atop Weathertop. And Frodo gets stabbed by a Morgul knife. Now the Nazgul, they had rings too. But the One Ring totally fucked them up. They were shadows. And one of them stabs Frodo. So he's got a tip of the Morgul blade inside of him. He's got the burden of the ring. And at one point, they're on the opposite sides of each other. the Nazgul and Frodo on the opposite sides of the ford of, I always want to say fjord because of the J, the ford of Bruinen. And Frodo's constantly feeling a calling to put on the ring. And he knows if he puts on the ring, it'll consume him. Now, if you've ever seen the animated Lord of the Rings by Ralph Bakshi, I love this scene because you hear the Nazgul just like whispering. It's like haunting. Come back, to Mordor, we'll take you. Come back, to Mordor, we'll take. And that's literally like the fucking addiction. That's what I was going through. That sing song, come back. And defiantly, Frodo says, you shall have neither me nor the ring. But it's something we have to carry with us and fight every day. Because if we use it, it will consume us. So when I'm done editing all this, my fucking broken, addicted ass is going right into the living room to say prayers. That for some reason I didn't say yesterday because whatever that black wolf was inside of me would not allow it. And this is 171 days later, a sobriety vlog. You know, it's not, the journey isn't, you know, you may think you start off on the yellow brick road singing and fucking dancing with the munchkins. But look how quick they ended up in that fucking evil forest. That's your journey right there. If you don't know Lord of the Rings, I know you know Wizard of Oz. So you think it's easy and you're dancing on the yellow brick road. But the next thing you know, the fucking yellow bricks are gone and shit's out to get you. I love every single one of you. If you come here every day to join me, thank you. I hope I entertain you. I do this for me, but if you're here, thank you for stopping by. God bless you. May God bless every single one of us. May he keep us, heal us, guide us, and protect us. May he always be above us, below us, around us, and beside us to guide us. And let's pray to all of our guardian angels. Angels of God, our guardians dear, to whom God's love commits us here. Ever this night, ever this day, be at our sides, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen. And like Tiny Tim says, God bless us all, everyone. You know how I made it through yesterday and snapped out of it tonight? By the grace of God. And I'll tell you what the definition of grace is. Grace is a gift from God, freely given, that one, we don't deserve, and two, we can't earn. God gives it because he loves us and he knows we need it. So by the grace of God, I made it through. When I hit 180 days later, which will be 6 months, it'll only be by the grace of God. It's by the grace of God I've lost over 150 pounds or close to it. And it's by the grace of God that tomorrow night, I won't be sucking down a bottle of tequila mixed in cranberry juice. Diet cranberry juice, like that would fucking matter at that point. But hey, come back tomorrow for 172 days later. It'll be my Friday, and I'll be bragging about it. Good night.